All right, we're back broadcasting live at Realty Remediation Live here on Route 9 in Marmora, New Jersey. Come on down, free food. Everybody that signs a card will win something. Realty Remediation right here in Marmora. It's the locker room with Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, Josh Henning. Now I'm really super excited to have our first guest. He's the president of hockey operations for the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room Keith Jones. Good morning, Jonesy.
How you doing there, buddy?
All right, Jonesy, I got to tell you, I just told the guys during the break, for as long as I've known Craig Berube and all the people that I've hung around, one person I've never met is you.
That's amazing. Actually, that's surprising because I'm around Berube a lot.
I know, right? And I know I've passed you in the hallways upstairs at the at the Flyer at the Wells Fargo Center, but never have actually been like introduced to you directly. But it's good to finally get the chance to talk to you, Jonesy. I got to tell you, did you think when you took this job that your first year you'd be in third place in the Metropolitan Division fighting for a playoff spot?
I wasn't sure where we were. I knew we were going to battle hard. And that's one thing that team has proven that they're willing to do. So we're going to continue to battle and see where we end up at the end of the season, which is 15 games left. But so far, so good.
Now, Jonesy, we've had Dick Vermeil, Coach Vermeil, on this program plenty of times, and we talked about him when he left football the first time. Then he went into broadcasting. He did ABC, he did collegiate football, college football on ESPN or ABC, and he said that because he was still in the game and broadcast, he got to see a multitude of players, and it kept up with the players and their abilities. Has being a broadcaster helped you out?
There's no question about it. You end up being able to get some really good insight on individual players through watching them up close, and then also through discussion with their coaches and managers of their respective teams. So there's a big advantage to be able to broadcast games and then transfer that into managing your own team.
Keith, it's Josh here. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned earlier about how you knew you have a team that would fight, that you knew that you didn't know you would be here, but you knew they would fight. What was it from when you first got the job to now that has been the biggest point of growth or evolution that you've noticed with the team and the organization?
I would say it's the culture. I think there were some teams over the last few seasons that went on the ice to represent the Flyers that weren't doing everything possible to represent the city properly. And I think we made some additions in the off season that have kind of changed that dynamic. And I'm not surprised by it. Players like Garnet Hathaway have done an outstanding job. Ryan Paling's done a great job. And Sean Walker did a great job before we had to trade him, to continue to grow this team for the future. But those type of additions went a long way to helping us get back on track, and some of the subtractions helped as well.
Keith, a lot of the fans are happy with the defense. They look at the defense and they say, finally, there's something protecting between the other team's offense and the goaltender. And you guys have had a lot of guys have to rotate in there because of injuries. You traded Sean Walker. How much for you as someone who played the game and now is overseeing the organization, what is your perspective on the Flyers defense so far this year?
It's been much improved, and it is the most important part of our team. You're seeing that over the last few games where we've had some struggles based upon players being asked to do more than we expected we would need them to do at this time of year with the injuries and the loss of Walker. But Sealer not being available hurts. Ristolainen and Drysdale both being out hurt. Those things really come to the forefront. So we're going to continue to build the back end, and if we do that properly, we'll be an effective team that's going to challenge each and every year.
We're talking with Flyers President of Hockey Operations, Keith Jones. Jonesy, let's talk about Danny Briere, your general manager. He's obviously in a position that he's never been in for the first time. How has he adjusted? Obviously, you guys are in close consultation, but how do you like what he's done with you so far?
I love what he's done. He's got a great attitude. He has a great feel for the league. He's done a great job in our development department as far as adding people that are going to really help us build our future Flyers, including John LeClaire and Patrick Sharp. Really impressed with our draft from last year and where those players are headed, including Oliver Bonk, who's done a great job in London. And then, of course, Matvei Michkov, who we look forward to getting in the future. This draft's important as well. Next year's draft, I think, is the biggest one. It's got a lot of early picks that we should be able to take advantage of. And then at some point we'll transition to adding some top-tier talent at the same time as continuing to watch our younger players develop. And Danny's the right guy to do all that.
Keith, I want to know from you, a guy who we haven't really touched on yet is Owen Tippett. This is someone who a lot of Flyer fans, they weren't very familiar with when he was brought over in the Claude Giroux trade, and now he has basically burst into this, basically a weapon. He has absolutely become an incredible piece to this team's success. For you, what has been the key for him to grow into what he is becoming?
He's become comfortable here, which is a great thing. I think John Tortorella's done a really good job of, finding the right way to unlock him. He does it in a way that Owen respects, and Owen has responded the way that we thought he would. He's a powerful player. He's a highlight reel goal scorer, and he's a huge part of our future. Really pleased with the way that he's developing and happy that we have him locked up for the next 8 years.
We're talking with Keith Jones, president of Flyer Hockey Operations for the Flyers. And Jonesy, you were on the radio and you were a player. How much does that, you're in tune with the fan, you played the game. Do you think you get a little bit more respect from the players because of your background? They maybe you could be a little bit more demanding than, say, someone that doesn't have a hockey or a radio background?
I think it's more so the fact that I played that matters. The players respect that as long as you are honest with them, that you give them the opportunity to get to know you, both as a manager and as a person. And I think that's something that both Danny and I have really done a good job of. Our players know us. Our players trust us, and we want to make sure that we continue to build on those relationships.
I know watching the Flyers over the last few years, it's we've joked about this where I love hockey. I played hockey growing up, and it's been tough to watch. Like I get the remote in my hand, I start clicking around the channel. But with this team, man, Jones, I'm tuned in, and they drop the gloves. They you fight. When you say fight, they fight at the right times. It just seems like this team is fun to watch, and that's part of the equation.
Yeah, entertainment is still part of the business. There's no question that Flyer fans expect a certain style of play, but they also demand results, and we've been able to provide that. So far, we've been able to provide them with a look into the future at the same time, making sure that we've communicated to them that we're not there yet, but we're going to continue to work on that. And I think fans appreciate that, but most importantly, they appreciate what they've seen on most nights, what our players have brought to the table. And now we have a huge challenge in front of us over the last 15 games to get back on track.
Keith, speaking of the fans, there's a lot of people, you know how people are in Philadelphia sports fans. when they get excited about something, they're saying right now that maybe the Flyers might be the best team playing in Philadelphia right now. What does it mean to you as someone who played in the city for the fans to be looking at the Flyers again as the team in the city instead of maybe a couple like the Sixers? Sixers aren't playing too well. Eagles are not even playing right now, so they're kind of out of sight, out of mind for some people. And then the Phillies, they're still 2 weeks away from starting their season.
It's a good opportunity for us to continue to make inroads. We have a long way to go. I know the city well. I know what the Eagles are, and we're just trying to get a little slice of that pie. But so far, our guys have made it interesting, and I think our fans appreciate that.
Hey, Jonesy, I got a lot of times we ask fans or a text board question like, what team is going to win? What Philadelphia team is going to win the next championship? And it's funny. People are saying the Flyers before the Sixers, and at least you hear that. You guys in that conversation has got to be a lot of fun for you personally of all the hard work that you've put into this team.
Yeah, and that's really the challenge. You know, we could have went the Sixers way and stripped it down to nothing and had 4 or 5 years of, you know, not a very good product on the ice and empty seats in the stands. And I don't think it would have been ideal for hockey. So we have to continue to fight for our spot in the city, but also in the league. And we're not going to tear it down to nothing. We're going to try to thread that needle and see if we can make it work that way.
All right, Jonesy. Now you know you're our good buddy Craig Berube. He's on TNT now. Did you give him any advice for the in front of the camera?
I did. I gave him the same advice I gave Rick Tocchet. I said, tighten your tie up and move your lips.
You know, the other day, I got to tell you, when he was on TNT, I texted him. I said, Joe, Chief, too much makeup. And he got right back to me laughing. It was so funny. I said, yeah, too much makeup on there, Chief. Craig Berube's a great guy. Won a Stanley Cup with the Blues. Any chance that we could see Craig Berube back in the Flyers organization, if you will?
Well, he's always a Flyer. You know that. And that's what we want to make sure that we continue to build with our alumni. But Chief is a very close friend of mine. He is the type of person that represented the Flyers well, both as a player and as the head coach and coaching in the minors. Great respect for everything he's done in his career, and he'll always be a Flyer.
Hey, Jonesy, I got to tell you, we really appreciate you, man, taking time out to come in, talk with us on the show, and thank you so much. Continued success, and we'll be watching the Flyers.
Appreciate it very much, guys. Thanks for the support. Catch up down the road.
All right, there he is, the president of Flyers Hockey Operations, Keith Jones. Is that unbelievable, man? He's Jonesy. You know what? I do believe that he has a way. He just has some people are winners. Some people just have a way about them. But I think because he was on the radio, and I think because he was a player,
right?
I think this is made him and gotten the respect for the Flyers, or the players of the team.
I love what he said during the first few minutes of the interview. What he said, he says, when I was watching the team, that wasn't Flyers hockey.
Right.
And he said, and I wanted to fix that. Because,
and all he could, because he was a player. He knows what Flyer hockey is.
But it's also the idea that, if you're around the game. Like, when you've had Berube on the show, I remember one time, when Berube was in the studio with you, and Coach talked about how, he said, there is an attitude that you bring to the ice.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that because, when Berube said that, it reminded me of what Keith just said when he said, we had to change the culture in order to get back to what we want to be. And I think that there's so many levels. It's Keith Jones. It's Danny Briere. It's John Tortorella. It's making Sean Couturier the first captain we've had. Remember, there was no captain for the last few years.
For a couple years.
It's all these incremental people and changes. And, Mike, for you, you're not a hockey guy, but you know that for any sports team, if your culture is right, everything else can build from there.
You're moving in the right direction. What caught my eye, again, not being a hockey guy, the key thing that I heard from him, remember 2-3 weeks ago we were talking about the trade, or they got to do something. They got to bring something back.
Right.
Did you hear what he said? This year was not the year to bring him.
Right, he knew.
Because we're building
just to do something
for next year,
just for the sake of doing something.
And he said next year we'll be ready for a high profile. That caught my eye. He knows where they are now. He's already looking for next year.
He knows the trajectory they're going in, and they're executing the vision.
All right, we're broadcasting live from Realty Remediation right here in Marmara. Johnny Griner's in the house. I saw Johnny Griner walking around. He's in the house. He's got his food. He looks good. He's got a nice suntan. Everybody that comes down today will win something. Receive a free pest control service. Everybody that comes down and fills out a card will win free pest control service. 4 people will win free 1 year's worth of pest control services that include 3 regular visits and any issues in between the visits, he'll take care of that. 1 person will receive free termite control, which is a big deal, Mike. That's worth a lot. That's thousands of dollars. 2 Phillies tickets to a Giants game in May. A pair of tickets to 5 5 Blue Claw games. That's the double. It's a single A. Philly single A affiliate up there in Lakewood. Come on down to a Realty Remediation, 215 Route 9 in Marmora. The guys will be here all afternoon having some fun. Great food, a lot of food here.
You can't eat all the food he's got.
No, he's got a lot of great food here, so come on down. Just about I want to tell everybody the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227. Hey, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up hour number 1. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Mike Carlin, Josh Henning, as we broadcast live from Realty Remediation, 215 Route 9 in Marmora. Come on down right here on 97.3 ESPN.